hello. Do you think the Big Brother is watching? Or that the Illuminati are planning to take over the world? Have you had an encounter with a space alien today? If the answer to those questions is yes, then grab your hat, because this is tinfoil hat time. Welcome back to Tinfoil Hat Time. Yeah, short kitty video. I have a very hard time getting the kitties to stay still during the Tinfoil Hat Times. They do not like the disruption of the office. Usually when I do a live stream, everything just stays over at the other computer desk. And then all of a sudden, the cats just chill there. But now there's this giant table kind of right in their usual walkway, and they're not quite sure how to handle that yet. And so they just kind of sit over there and run away. So it's a hard business to actually get a cat on camera during the Tinfoil Hat Times. But oh boy. All right, so we are in for an interesting one today. I wanted to spend some time talking about all of these AutoPay credit card stuff, mostly because of that crazy Comcastism. If you missed the video yesterday, watch the video, spread that thing out. This is like Comcast losing their ever-loving mind. Actually, somebody said, no, they know exactly what they're doing. They're trying to scam people into paying a whole lot of money, and they're going to make a lot. And that is exactly what I'm doing with this Tinfoil Hat Time. Because we're going to talk about not just Comcast, but what all sorts of companies are doing. Because a lot of companies are doing these. Now, a lot of your cable companies do it the worst, but in general, this also ties into one of my very early Tinfoil Hat Times. If you didn't watch my channel in the very beginning, you probably missed it. And if I think of it, I'll go back and relink it in. But I did a Tinfoil Hat Time called Subscribing to Bankruptcy, which is my general thoughts and opinions about subscription services. Maybe it's due for a refresh. Especially since now Shadow Brokers now apparently has a subscription service to buy the NSA malware. Oh boy. So, once again, though, before we dive on in here, if you do want to help support the channel, then I do have a Patreon account over there, patreon.com/TomM, and there are also some Amazon links. I'm not sure if they're in the bottom of this one or not. I put up the video intro image and stuff from the other computer. I don't remember if I put the links up there. But anyway, you can check that out for the Amazon links, and you can check out the Patreon page as well. I'm still slowly ramping up the Patreon page as I'm getting ready to launch the second channel, which is on cooking. That is at homeCookingHacks.com, and it's not fully done yet, but I do have a few public videos available over there. You can also catch some of those on the Patreon page. So, with all that being said, we are going to jump in here, if I can find my website thing here, because we are going to look at some articles today as it relates to credit cards. And so, we're going to come in here, and I'm going to go ahead and just tell people today, that if you happen to be in debt, Dave Ramsey's Financial Peace University class is a great class. I do not get paid to endorse it or anything. I've been through it. I actually help teach it once a year. So if you're in the central PA area and you want to do that, hit me up later on, closer to when the school year starts. We usually start ours in September-ish. But I like it. I liked the older version of the class better than the newer version. For the record, probably about a good 5-6 years ago, Dave Ramsey went from being a secular group who gave great Christian advice to this targeting Christian focus. And I just don't like the new focus, the new target. I liked it how it was all raw before, and that to me was a lot better. But regardless, the Financial Peace University course is still very good. It's mostly because no matter what background you are in, it just gives you a lot of the philosophy, the how, and the why of getting out of debt. And that's what we're going to be talking about today is debt. Hello, StarCraft 2K. I am doing just fine. Hello to everyone else. Greetings there, Ryan. Greetings, Daniel. And that's all that I see comments for now. There's about 10 users on here, so there's 7 more unknowns. All right, which is just cool. That's fine. Y'all can be stalkers. It's okay. I don't mind being stalked. After all, you're stalking a guy with a tinfoil hat. I couldn't be all that sane. All right, so get that flashlight app with every permission used to track me. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, if you haven't been following, Ryan has an old Android phone here, and he's turning on all sorts of spyware programs. So if you know a great spyware app, drop it in the comments there for Ryan to download onto his nebulous Android phone. Awesome. Eventually, it's going to be so much the thing's just going to be broadcasting a big beacon where he is. So, it'll be kind of fun. Ties into a project I kind of wanted to do. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump over into some articles. We are going to first look at the credit card problem. We are going to look at why it's getting worse, and we are going to look at why it's going to continue to get worse. We might wrap up with some good news. Good news! FPU exists. FPU exists. There's your good news. All right. Woo! Greetings, Sandman. How are you? All right. So first article I'm going to have a look at here is credit card activity for college students. Anyone in college or high school-ish in college age-ish? This is kind of towards you. We wanted to look at average credit card balances for undergraduates. These are fairly new. Okay, so January 17 is when these stats are. So that's what we got. No. Oh, look at this. I'm getting like Join Wallet Hub. Oh, yeah. Unlimited free credit reports. Join for free. Yeah, no. Pop up again. I'm going to edit your CSS on the fly and get you out of here, boy. All right. So you can see here that the trend here. Let's see. Credit card debt for undergrads. So this is the average of the mean and the median credit card debt carried on, and you can see the peak was around 2008 in general. This was right around the time of the market crash. Credit was still greatly pushed to everybody. After that crash, people started getting a little bit more leery about the credit card debt. So it's went down a little bit, but it's kind of up and down. You can see where we are over here. Some numbers. They say 32% of college students had a zero balance, 46% had less than 500, 2% carried a balance greater than 4,000. Okay, if you're a college student with $4,000 in credit card debt, oh, pity you. Looking at some average credit card debts. Now, again, though, the zero balance are not included. And so this is your average amount of debt. You can see 2012 was kind of a peak year there as far as the amount. This is the zero balance not included. This is the zero balance included. So, of course, if you do not include, or if you include the zero balance into those that own the credit card and carry some balances, you are going to drive the balances down. So that's why they're doing some is included and some is not. Average monthly payment, students pay $6 a month, 61. Oh, that was 2013, 2000. What was that one? Why is it so different? Credit card habits. I'm not sure. The reason I actually pulled this out, this one here is there was a law that was enabled, and one of these dealt with where that law was. Must have been the one up here. I think it was this one here. What happened is in 2008, 2009, there was a lot of awareness brought up about, it used to be you could literally, as soon as the freshman gets to campus, they would like constantly hit up like every credit card company's there, sign up for this, get a free t-shirt, get a free backpack, get a free Frisbee, get a free pizza. And of course, the college students, for the first time ever on your own, you're 18. Nobody's really prepared you for it because understand that back at that time, the 18-year-olds, their parents oftentimes applied for credit cards and couldn't get them. So nobody would ever possibly think in the right mind that a college student with no real job would get a credit card, but that's exactly who they wanted to target, because it turns out that the credit card industry was most interested in targeting people who could not really pay because it's the fees that they build up. And then since they wrote the bankruptcy law that was signed into effect, I want to say that was 2009, 2010-ish, somewhere around there was a bankruptcy reform law, which actually was written by MBNA, a credit card company. And then when they did that, then it made it it harder to claim bankruptcy. And so now it basically locked people into having more payments for longer and longer and longer. And so that was kind of a scary thing. But what happened is after there was another law that was passed around that time that kind of got to that point where these credit card companies could no longer sign up the students on campus. So what they do is they'd sit at the street right across. So, and I'm not sure where you're at, but I'm right here at Penn State Main Campus. And Penn State Main Campus is right here. You have, what is this, College Avenue, I think? And right across from College Avenue is the business district that's not college. And there's just lines of banks there. Everyone can set right up shop right across the street from the campus. You're going to hit the students. As long as you're not on the campus property, that's just fine. Now, of course, way back when I was in college, you could get the credit card with the school logo on it, and that's particularly nebulous. So that's kind of what was going on here. Is once this law went through, then it deeply helped the amount of students in credit card debt. The amount of students in credit card debt drastically fell off, which is good. All right, so Ryan says, I love that my lock screen gives me ads for hot girls or live nearby. Wow. Scary. Okay, Ryan. Have fun with that phone. All right. So here is some average credit card debts and statistics. The previous one focused just on students. This one is more on everybody in general. This right here is the 2007-2008 bubble. When this collapsed, the credit issues went down, and then you can see that in the past year, this is last one reported here is Q2 2016. So that's right about a year ago from now. You can see that we are right on back. So the total outstanding debt amount, and these are Federal Reserves. Would you go away? Thank you. And Equifax. Okay, so this is by two different credit reporting groups. You'll see here that we are in average around 979. What is this? Oh, 979 billion. Hi, kitty.
Hey, everybody, don't get credit cards. They suck.
All right. We have Americans right now have $979 billion in credit card debt. Ouch. And you can see it's on the rise. And we're going to talk about why it's on the rise here in a little bit. Total credit card balance as a percentage of total debt. So this means that if you have a certain amount of debt, what percentage of that debt is a credit card versus what percentage of that debt is something else. Usually the biggest debt somebody has is their house. I think averages $127,000. We'll get into that in a bit here. But you can see that what's going on here starting in Q4. Here's the market crash, Q7, Q8. This is 16. So you can see that right now the amount of credit card debt that we have is only 6%. Now, that looks like it's been getting better. However, that is offset by absolutely tremendously, horribly high growing student loan debt. And I think that data is down here somewhere. Let's see. Here's not seasonally adjusted. So, of course, not seasonally adjusted. Usually what happens in Q1, it's usually a little higher. You can see these higher peaks. What's going on, it looks like Q4 is where they're reporting, because guess what's it? Oh, yeah, that would make sense. Guess what's in Q4, people? Christmas. As Dave Ramsey likes to say, it's not an emergency and no one just suddenly... Whoa, it's Christmas this month. I forgot. But what happens is millions of Americans go out and put piles and piles of debt onto their credit cards right for Christmas time. And that's what's going on. That's why you see these credit spikes in Q4. Has to do with the Christmas season and our crazy consumerism and our it's like we are so addicted to buying stuff. Actually, a friend of mine said he was starting to study the marketing things as he and I've been talking about it a little bit more, and he says it's pretty scary stuff. So I'm anxious to get the reports. And look at this, man. Look at this Q4. Look, this thing just keeps going up. This is amount per household. So the average household right now has a little over $8,000 just in credit card debt. Just in credit card debt. Hello, Anna. How are you? All right. So here are your means and median values of credit card balances. Of course, means and medians. Looks like cutting off at 2013. Debt by region. Here's your U.S. national. This is total debt excluding real estate. So if you don't have a mortgage, this is all your debt except for mortgage there on the national. You can see the New England states are the highest. Guess what's in New England states? I might be driving this up. Anybody know? Ivy League colleges. Most of the most expensive colleges in the nation are in the New England states. Shocking. Available credit, monthly payments, and credit lines. Ooh, let's see. Credit card balances. What is this? Credit card available credit and credit limit. Okay. I wanted to see if the breakdown by... Oh, yeah, here you go. Okay, here's a fun one. This is a neat one. Median balance values by head of education. So apparently the more education you have, the higher your credit card balance seems to be. That's an interesting statistic. Maybe it's the guys in high school like, yeah, I didn't need a liberal professor to tell me to go into debt for stuff, you know. That's a funny stat. Median balance by type, family incomes. What I'm looking for is small businesses. What I'm looking for is to see if I can find the breakdown by type. I thought it was on one of these, or maybe it's on one of my other articles. So I did not find my breakdown by type. I think it must be on one of my other articles here. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 5 articles about these horrible stats. So just bear through it. We're going to get you hating credit card debt before long here. All right, so here's the average credit card debt in America, 2016 facts and figures. So negative or zero. So what's going on here is your household net worth. So if your net worth is negative or zero, this is what your average credit card debt looks like. $10,000 in credit card debt. These are people who have no other real assets. These are the guys that are simply going into debt more and more every month, and that's why they're negative or zero. And it seems as though other than that category, the more your net worth happens to be, the higher your debt ratio happens to be. That might be because these guys can easily write a check and pay it off, but you're still kind of playing with snakes and stuff, so got to be careful with that. Let's see. So here is outstanding revolving debt. So if you're unfamiliar with the terms, a revolving debt is something like a credit card or a HELOC loan, home equity line of credit is a HELOC. So your revolving accounts are the things that you can go into, tap money out, put money back, whatever, basically going back and forth. So you can see here that in 2010, when this started, we had $841 billion in revolving debt. As of March 16, we have $952 billion. So we are pushing $1 trillion in revolving debt. And then here's your state by region. So you can go to this article here and you can find your region and figure out where you are. Of course, you can see here that betters are blue, reds are worse. So these guys are bad. Your Californias, like your big, these guys up here correspond to your big regional cities. And California's pretty bad, except these guys right here. And what's going on right here? This is Bakersfield and just outside of like Death Valley. These guys live on cash only, San Bernardino Valley area. This is your Hollywood area. Like Hollywood area would be here, San Diego area here. This little blue dot's Yuma, which is an interesting place. And then other than that, we have a lot over here where the cost of living is just shooting through the roof. Over in the Texas, because all these Californians are moving to Texas right now, if you haven't been following that. And then, of course, the group over here seems to also correlate. This section of the country, the Southeast, generally correlates with higher rates of obesity, higher rates of unemployment, higher rates of lower socioeconomic status. So if you look into all of those things, that's what's going on there. And then, of course, these guys up here are more of your blue-collar general guys up here. And this is probably why. Remember that these are the regions where you find your college grads. And remember that earlier stat that the more debt that you have, the more education you have, the more debt you tend to have. These guys over here generally tend to be more, of course, guess what you see right here? Who knows this one? Chicago. So, moral of the story, if you live in a big city, here's Pittsburgh. You live in a big city, New York, there, Philadelphia, D.C., Fredericksburg area, Richmond is here. Living in a big city corresponds to a whole lot more credit card debt. Probably because the cost of living is so high, it's hard to live. That might very well be interesting correlations. And then here's your breakdown. Where's my Alaska? I don't know my Alaska geography. Let's see. Men and women. Oh, us guys. Must be buying too many cars, or I don't know. All right. And our next one. Credit card debt study. All right. Oh, here we go. This is the one I was looking for. So, and this is as of Q4 2016. We have credit cards. Let's see. Total owed by the average American household carrying this type of debt, and total debt owed by consumers. So your average person, according to this, has $16,000, and the total debt is pushing $800 billion. Mortgages, your average right now is $176,000, and $8.4 trillion is what we owe as a collective. Your average vehicle loan is $28,000. Do you guys realize that the average car payment right now is about $500 a month? That's insanity. I paid $500 flat for my first car. Yeah. I was going to make another joke about that, but never mind. And this is how much we as Americans owe on our vehicles. This is crazy. Student loans. This average seems high to me. Last time I knew that, I thought the average was closer to 35 or 39, but apparently they're saying 50,000. And then any other type of debt totals. I think this is excluding your mortgages type things, 135. So that's kind of what we have. So here's some key findings. Rise in the cost of living has outpaced the growth for 13 years. So this means that the amount of money people make on a raise is significantly less than the cost of living. And just looking at the housing and where I'm at, like the last time I had like a wage type job, I think I got paid $8.75 an hour, and that was in, I want to say 2001. A similar type job right now in this town is only starting at like $9.50 an hour. And however, in that same period of time, the first studio apartment that I had rented out there was, I think, $520, I think it was. $510. That same apartment right now, same exact apartment actually, I know it's across the street from where I recently lived, I think is now going for $890. So the apartment, and that was per month. So the apartment went up $300 a month, while the wage for a similar job went up almost $1. Not even $1. That's insane. And so that's what they're going on here. Median household income has grown 28% since 2003, but medical costs increased 57%. I think this statistic's out of date. I think medical costs has increased 700 bajillion %. Companies like Mylan keep on jacking prices up super high. Food and beverage prices go up 36% in the same span. So, while our wage is only going up 28, even our basic food is going up 36%, which means that, we're getting broker and broker, according to what this says. So total debt expected to surpass the amount owed at the beginning of the Great Recession. Ooh, that's scary. Thank you. I wanted to be all depressed all night. And the average household with credit card debt pays a total of $1,292 in credit card interest per year. That seems very low. So those are some scary stats, scary numbers. I think there's one more here. Oh, this was a whole thing. I'm going to put all these links in the article here so you can see these. This is a big study looking at long-term trends in credit card reports. I'll go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and have a quick look at our comments. I see a lot of commentiness going on here, and let's see. Long time. Okay, let's see. A lot of debt. Yes, it is. Hello. I have pajamas on, and I'm here. I have not done that yet. Okay, for Christmas, I tell people do I'm guessing don't buy anything. Just bring wine or dessert, and we're good. There you go. Yeah, that's another friend. I'm not sure if my other friend's watching or not today. But what he said once is he said he wanted to just institute a plan at his house around Christmas where everybody stands in a circle. They all reach into their wallet, they grab a $20 bill, and they pass it to the guy on the left. Because that's what we accomplish. It's like, and I got to this point, like, I used to, like, it's like with my brother, we used to be like, oh, yeah, I'll buy a Best Buy gift certificate. And then he'll buy me a Best Buy gift certificate. And so, we've each traded each other a Best Buy gift certificate of $50. Now I have to take this $50 and dedicatedly spend it on a company I'm not all that keen about always spending my money on. And so I'm like, and sure, it's good, and I will make use of it because, I buy enough computer stuff here and there. But I'm going to tell you this. I'd rather just have the $50. It's a little bit more versatile because suppose I'm good on computer equipment, movies, music, and whatever else, but I'm low on food. I'd like to just take the $50 and go buy it. And for whatever reason, Walmart does not take Best Buy gift certificates. I just have not figured out why, but they have not. Very sad. Oh boy. Hello, Shater. How are you? Your long time I'm on Tom's live stream. All right. Well, welcome there. Just relax with my wife okay, watch Tom. All right. Hey, it's good to know I'm the evening entertainment. That's good. All right. Awesome. Download this completely real Minecraft mobile APK from a random blog. Yeah! Ryan's websites may not be safe. So double check and always use official. Oh, you jumped on late, Anna. He's actually intentionally adding a bunch of spamware on his phone. Things are crashing and there are pop-ups. Woohoo! Check out the permissions during the installation. Yeah, maybe what you want to do is turn all the permissions off during the installation process and then turn them all on and see what kind of hell breaks loose. Credit card is not being in use for 10 years. Guess my credit score is not good. Well, as long as you have the credit card open, you retain a credit score. It's when you drop the credit card, when you drop your home mortgage, that's at the point in time your credit score will disappear. So, no, as long as if you still have it. But at that point in time, if you haven't used the credit card in 10 years, get rid of it. You're just asking for trouble. It's probably safer to just throw some money in a separate bank account with its own separate debit or credit card and use that as your, quote, credit card because you'd accomplish the same thing. You're just not borrowing money from an unscrupulous bank. All right. So high as mortgage every 2 weeks. Yeah, it's insane. It is insane. And where I'm at in this town here, it is insanely priced because what happens particularly with the housing pricing and particularly in a town like this, we are going to have close to 100% apartment occupancy at all times. Apartments do not sit empty in a town that has Penn State in the middle of it. Like schools in session and the population of town pentuples, okay? It does. And so the apartment vacancies are huge. It gets to so much so that there's several different rental companies now that they don't even rent apartments outside of August to August. That makes things very easy. August to August. Nope, we don't rent apartments. Nope, we don't mess with sublets. Nope, we don't do anything. We don't want to do any of that stuff. All we're doing is August to August makes our life easy. That's school year to school year. And if y'all want to sublet, that's all up to you guys as long as we're getting our payment. That's fine. But that's the type of thing that happens. But in that type of college town, they know that with such a high occupancy rate, they will always fill the apartments. It doesn't matter what the rent is because they're going to pay it, and it's going to be people who are inexperienced in life, i.e. 18 to 22-year-olds, who are living on their own for the first time, and a student loan is going to pay their rent. It's so high. There are apartments in this town that are $4,000 a month. I can't even fathom paying $4,000 a month in a little town surrounded by trees and cows. I'm going to have to go on fire here in a second. I actually get kind of hot on this issue of housing costs because it's like, I think my housing cost is north of 50% of my income. It's insanely high. Insanely high. $34 an hour raise each. I hope you don't spend that all in one place, man. I mean, they could put a gumball machine up there that takes quarters, and there goes your raise. Oh, a little fever. I'm sorry. Have some tea. Had no raises in 3 years. Yeah, and some people, I mean, right now, a lot of companies can be like, yeah, no, we're not giving you a raise. We're not giving you a raise at all. Why? There's 100 other people we can hire at half your salary. You're not taking a raise. Oh, boy. Internet went down. Uh-oh. I got to check my internet, too. Good. My internet's been doing goofy stuff lately. All right. Let's go ahead and talk about the next phase as to why this is happening. Well, it's because everything and its brother wants you to sign you up for automatic pays. I just went on and just found some random things. Did this site just chirp at me? No, it couldn't have. I don't have speakers plugged in. I swear I heard something that sounded like a chirp, and I am on the Cricket website. I'm just losing my mind over here. It's all good. Don't worry. All right. So basically, Cricket, they want to turn on AutoPay. What are they going to do? They're going to charge your card 1 day before the due date. You know what's funny about this? What if that 1 day before the due date, your card happens to not be accepted? Maybe you went over your limit or whatever else. Guess what they get to charge you with? Late fees. Late fees. You know, credit card companies make over, I think it's 20% of their income on late fees. So yeah, everything and their brother wants you to sign up for AutoPay. AutoPay, look at this. Do your AutoPay. It's going to be easy. AutoPay, you'll get a $5 service credit at the end of every billing cycle. Wow. But, of course, your line must be active on a current rate starting at $40 a month or a grandfathered $70 a month pro plan. Customer on Cricket, $25 a month, $30, or not eligible for the AutoPay credit. Okay. Of course, this is always turned on as... it makes it super simple to never miss a payment. You know what else is super simple to never miss a payment? A budget. Yeah, a budget, man. You will not miss payments if you're on a budget. It's awesome. Like, I literally have a sheet here. I know what all my expenses are going to be. I know approximately what it is. I put them in order. And when I write the check, I check the checkbox. Shocking. All right. So, your amount dues include your rate plan, any monthly features currently on your account. This won't change unless your plan or features change, and you have any existing credits, fees, or we choose to add extra stuff on, like your modem rentals. I'm thinking of you, Comcast. All right. So that's Cricket, of course, is a cell phone carrier. I've actually heard that Cricket is one of the best cell phone carriers because they don't store any data about what you do. That's what I've heard. But I just randomly typed in, AutoPay Services and picked the top things that came on place. Chubb. It's an insurance company. So you can now automate your bill payment with Chubb. You can enroll for secure electronic payment withdrawals from your checking, savings, or money market account. Ooh. You can enroll using the mail-in authorization form. Yeah. AutoPay. AutoPay your insurance. Worst thing about this stuff is, you don't know when it's coming, so you'll get nebulously hit with some bills. I wasn't ready for that. Wells Fargo. We know Wells Fargo is the paragon of integrity. Absolute paragon of integrity. Of course, their credit card makes bill paying easier and more secure. It's safe, and best of all, there's no extra charge. You don't have to sign up through Wells Fargo for the service. That's of course. You don't have to sign up for Wells Fargo. We'll sign you up. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, Wells Fargo is under like a lot of legal trouble for signing up accounts. I think they're estimating somewhere to the effect of 3 million accounts. They literally signed up like 3 million people with accounts without authorization. That's insanity. All right. Of course, you can sign all this stuff up. You can automate your monthly payments. So not only can you set up bill pay with your credit card, you can bill pay your credit card itself. You can have your credit card auto bill paying all these other services, and then you auto bill pay this. I don't know. It's kind of scary. Oh, boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Of course, I didn't see it in the top 5 list, so I had to look it up. How to set up automatic payments with Comcast, because Comcast really wants you on automated payments, because if they can get you on automated payments, you will never miss a payment again. They'll just send you the pay. I mean, they'll just charge your account. I mean, this is easiest way for them to get the extra $10 out of you for a modem that you own. Once again, if you're joining me late, check out my video from yesterday where Comcast repeatedly, every other month, they keep on trying to add $10 a month. It takes me a month and a half to get the thing cleared up. Right about the time they get the thing cleared up, I get billed for another $10 a month modem rental that I have owned since 2005. I've owned my modem for 12 years, and they're all of a sudden wanting to start charging me $10 modem rental. Apparently, if you missed that video, there's some nebulous back-end auditor, either like the Smoker from X-Files or like the Wizard of Oz, and they don't read the comments inside the customer service. The customer service people can't talk to them. They are the auditors. And apparently they keep on auditing my bill and determining that I'm not getting paid for the modem. And so they just keep on adding it on. And I keep on having to call them back and take it off. And I'm just wondering what in the world to do about it. I'm just, okay. Whew. So, of course, here is, if you are on Xfinity and you are not having them charge your extra $10 a month automatically because they know you won't look at the bill to dispute it, you can sign up right over here with this and then sign up with your account, and then you can store all your information on this. And by the way, one of the reasons I don't even pay online with these guys is because they require a boatload of third-party cookies just to access their website, even their back-end payment gateway. You have to turn on third-party cookies to make a payment with them. If that does not terrify you, you do not need to own a computer. Yeah. Wow. Let's see. Oh, Ryan, you're taking your life in your own hands there, downloading horoscope apps. $4,000 a month, that's way more than my income at the end. Yeah, and you know what? And the funny thing is, that's student housing. And students, that means the student is borrowing $4,000 per month to pay for their housing in addition to their books and their other college fees. They're going to look out of college and owe like $500 bajillion and like, it's okay though, I'm going to make a good job making $1 million a year as soon as I'm done with college. Yeah, keep telling yourself that. Right now, only 1 in 5 students that graduate college actually get a sustainable job. The rest of them end up working at Burger King. Now, there's things that you can do to be part of that 1 in 5, but for sure, there is not nearly as many jobs out as they want to believe. Oh, boy. I never do AutoPay. Yeah, neither do I. I remember asking my mom when I was 5 years old, and I went to a Monopoly board game and took all the play money and said, "Here, Mommy, you can pay bills now." Oh, boy. Yeah, if only life worked. Keeps freezing. Well, that's because it keeps on pinging China, Russia, and North Korea to try and figure out where you're at there, Ryan. Come on. Those mail-order brides are trying to ping your exact location. Just ask Washington Mutual. Oh, boy. I don't want to ask Washington Mutual nothing. I remember it was in, I think it was State Farm I had insurance through. I had car insurance and house insurance. And so I went in to talk to him. I was like, "Hey, any other plans we can do? What else?" She's like, "All right, I'm going to tell you we got a great insurance plan here. This is our premium insurance. This is whole life insurance." I said, "Stop right there. If you ever say the word whole life insurance to me again, I will be immediately closing everything. That is the stupidest product you can have. That is like going down to a title pawn shop right after you've taken a payday loan. Okay, it's like getting half of your rent payment from a payday loan and swapping out your title loan with your car to make the other half of your loan. You're just asking for trouble. Those whole life policies run They're horrible. Horrible. All right. Let's see. Don't worry, financial change is nearly here. I don't know whether before UFO disclosure or after. Yeah, I'm not sure either. I mean, sorry we didn't get Hillary Clinton in because she was going to tell us the truth about aliens, but we're just going to have to wait another 8 years, I guess, or 4 years. I don't know. I'm not sure Trump's making it a second term. I'm not sure. But we missed out. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Hillary Clinton said, if I'm elected president, I will tell America the truth about the UFOs. We're real. We're in Hangar 18. My friend was dissected. Thanks, Roger. Roger had to have his contribution in for the day. That's Roger the Alien, giving us the truth about UFOs. I mean, you just had truthful disclosure. Time to download a Fingit Spindrift. Oh, no, Ryan, what you have to download the Is It a Hot Dog app. You got to. Education system is like most things on this plane, corrupted. Get thousands in debt just to toe the line. Self-education makes great men. Yeah. I'm reading Walden right now, Henry David Thoreau, which was a free ebook. Wow, I like that. That's a fun book. What does that mean? Area 51 is real? Well, I already knew that. Yeah, I mean, just don't drive too far off the highway in the Sierra deserts. You'll figure that out pretty quick. This won't tell the truth about anything else. Yeah, she's going to tell us the truth about the aliens. We'll have that figured out and just, nothing else. Of course, how can you tell if a politician is lying? Anybody know? How do you tell if a politician's lying? If their mouth is moving. No such alien thing. We are alien. Yeah. There's a pastor in Roswell, actually, of all places. He used, I don't know if he still has it, but the website used to be Alien Stranger. He was a pastor. He claims that the sons of God in Genesis 6 were really aliens, and he was abducted by aliens and probed. And now he's here to tell us all about them. And to be honest, his theology was sounder than most of the guys you get on Christian television. So just throwing that out there. Oh boy. Area 51 exposed. 27 2P16. Son. Yeah. I watched ancient alien TV shows. So yeah. Yeah, so did I. They were fun. I used to like that. X-Files, alien shows. Well, bummer. I want to show you a cool article here from New York Times, but yeah, see, this is kind of scary. Your browser must be able to accept cookies to log you in. You know what? I want you to see this. If this is the article I'm thinking it was, I want you to see it. So let me go to a cookie-friendly browser. Really? You don't want to take cookies either? All right, fine. New York Times, never mind. Apparently, I mean, hey, I ate my cookies today. Had me a couple snickerdoodle cookies with my dessert. So that was my cookies. All right. So apparently, online bill pay makes people happier. I have a reason. I think I know why. In fact, the only reason I include this one is I'm pretty sure I know why this makes people happier. I'm actually going to check my cookie policy real quick. That's pondering. I'm pondering that one. I thought this thing allowed cookies. Oh, look at that. Never accept third-party cookies. All right, let's go back and find that New York Times article again. I remember that New York Times article being something interesting. I wouldn't otherwise go to the New York Times. See if that works. Ooh, look at that. Yeah, I like cookies, just not on my computer either. All right, so despite the push by financial institutions to switch customers to digital statements from paper, the traditional hard copy version may work better for some people, a new report finds. And I think that's this report. So in particular, older, less educated, and lower income consumers may lack fast internet connections at home, may benefit from paper statements, the new report from the National Consumer Law Center says. So there is a sense that everyone's connected and paper is old-fashioned. I like this guy's name, Chi-Chi Wu. Chi-Chi Wu is the lawyer. So let's see. He said, she said, significant gaps in internet access may hinder the ability of some customers to use digital statements. More than half of Americans 65 and older lack home broadband, as do 59% of adults with annual incomes under $20,000 a year, which is probably good. If your income's that low, you probably don't need to be throwing out a bunch of money. However, most of these people under this income are throwing out hundreds of dollars a month for cable TV and everything else. Okay. Now, so even consumers who know the internet may simply prefer paper because statement notifications can easily be overlooked in the deluge of email. So this is true. Like, with everybody and their brother wanting you to have an online account, everybody and their brother wanting you on social media, everybody and their brother wanting you to sign up for paperless statements, I know I have email accounts that get upwards of 100 emails a day, and most of those are just junk. And then even the ones that are from the important things like the banks, they want to send so much marketing crap. I mean, I know I don't have time to sit here and look at every email and assess what it is. And that's the problem, is we get so many emails, we miss things. And if your bill is coming in your inbox and not in the mail, it is very easy to overpass it, especially since most people don't run their life on a budget. And so it looks as though a lot of people, despite almost everybody allows some type of paper statement, almost, not everybody, but almost everybody allows some type of paper statement or some type of e-statement, but a lot of people still prefer the paper statement to the electronic statement because inability to access it without the internet. You have the problems of the excess emails. You can miss things, and the next thing is you don't get the statement in your email. You get a reminder in your email that the statement's ready, so you have to go the extra barrier and all that stuff. Like if you think of chemistry, in chemistry you have your coordinate plane here, and I hope I'm drawing this correct for the camera. I'd be doing it like this, so I think it's backwards this way. And you have your potential energy over here, and you have what was called your reaction coordination here, and you start over here. You have to overcome an energy barrier to push the products down the spontaneous reaction. Overcoming this energy barrier is what companies want to do. They want to make that energy barrier annoying. Because the more annoying that is, the less you're going to look at that bill. And believe it or not, on their bottom line, they are sometimes more interested. As long as you pay the bill late, they're okay if you pay the bill late, because they really want those late fees. And like I said, credit card companies, they make a ton of their money. It is in excess, I think, of 10%. I think it's closer to 20% of a credit card company's profit is from late fees. Because people forget to check their bills. They don't think of checking their bills. And everything wants to check your bills. Now, here's the thing is, in the United States, paper bills still have to be, on a legal perspective, they have to be an option. But there's no law about them charging extra. So they could charge you $10 a month extra for the paper bills. It's legal. It'd be exorbitant, and I think some people would have a problem with that, but it's still something that you could do. And so people prefer to receive their bills by mail, and according to this big research statement. But what's up with this? Online bill paying. People prefer to have them, but online bill paying makes people happier. You know what? You know why this is? La-di-da-di-da-di-da. What bills do? You don't see the bill in front of you. You don't see the fact that you owe the money. It's the same thing that if you go into life paying cash versus going into life paying with a card, you will not experience the ouchie moment when you pay with the card that you will when you lay down the cash. This online bill pay is literally like a brain drug. It is preventing you from seeing the pile of bills that's standing up before you. It prevents you from taking stock of things. It prevents you from making sure they're not doing an error like Comcast keeps on adding $10 to my bill. Comcast keeps doing that because they're expecting that I'm going to sign up for automatic bill pay, sign up for paperless statements because they keep pushing it. They keep pushing it. They keep pushing it. They want to keep pushing it. They want me to sign up for paperless bill pay because they know that I won't log in to see the statement 90% of the time is what the stats show. And they'll know that it will auto pay to the card, and they know that 90% of the time I will not look at my credit card statements. Also, if it's paperless, so they're just assuming that I'm just going to go through life, put everything on autopilot, and meander on through my life with my stupid entertainment going la di da di da. The world's just passed me by, and I'm all happy on my happy pill because I'm on online bill pay. Oh yeah, that's good stuff. That's exactly what they want. And so people prefer the paperless statements, but the online bill pay makes you happy. We're going to dig through this in a minute. Let me look at our comments here real quick. All right. 50-50 to me. Okay. It's not there, but there's a Hot Dog Maker 2 game from a nebulous company. Sweet. Oh, you know what? I think you have to sideload the Hot Dog app. Is it a Hot Dog app? Do an online search for it. I think you have to sideload it at this point in time still. I like cookies, just not on my computer. Yeah, I had some fresh baked snickerdoodles today. DuckDuckGo. Yes, DuckDuckGo is still around. It seems to be the default on more and more Linux computers, much to my dismay because I hate it. But it's good for privacy. I'll give it that. My wife is asking about the kitties. Where are they? Right there.
Kitty! Hi, kitty, kitty. Hi, buddy, kitty.
Yeah, I got one kitty hanging out back here. Let me see if I can get this guy working without dropping my camera again. I keep on accidentally dropping my cameras. Pang Pang Go by Sudo Reboot. Huh. Pang Pang Go? Everything's using my location. Oh boy. My first time seeing that tinfoil hat time live. Awesome, JJ Game. Welcome. All right. I'm going to kill it off once and for all. Got to reset the thing. This is how the elitists control humanity, through debt. Why don't the governments just print the money themselves rather than letting a private company do it and charge us interest? Yeah, if you look at actually the history of credit cards, I didn't get into that, but if you look at the history of credit cards, of course it was illegal for a long time to have any credit cards, mostly due to what are called usury laws, which still exist in many places. But another law was passed, which basically says that wherever your business is, your usury laws will be imported from there, and South Dakota lifted or at least raised them up super high so you could charge super high interest rates. And so that's why almost all these credit card companies are now officed in South Dakota. But looking at the history of it, it was to push the economy through charging debt, because prior to that, people didn't charge debt because it wasn't because you had to pay it back. It was because it was illegal. And then it was finally made legal, and that in and of itself became a challenge. And so that's kind of the history of credit cards. Late fees is something I do not have to pay because I pay them 1 week before they are due. Why? Because I manage my money with organization. Yes, budgets are a fun thing. It's very true. I always use paper cash forever. Yep. I'm learning life lessons from this show. I love it. Awesome, JJ Game. Yeah, I'm a pretty diverse guy, so I get into a lot about everything there. So I love the I guess both the formal and informal education I've gotten over the years. Although I think I learn a lot more from the informal stuff. Most people don't do that as you do. You know what? I call those people airheads in the cloud. Yay, kitties! Okay, nice hat. Thank you very much. My tinfoil fedora. Well, when they would like a paperless money society, more control. This is going to happen. Yeah, and what's going to happen is we're going to get this paperless society where everything's going to be biometrically tracked, just like on. If you have not watched Minority Report, watch Minority Report. Because he literally has to, you have to use your retina scan to process transactions. And so he has to get an eyeball transplant to change his identity. That's kind of the world we're moving to. But the danger with that type of world is what happens when they decide you're a threat. They just turn off your eye and you can no longer engage in commerce. And now we're starting to sound like the Book of Revelation. Okay, and frankly, some people are like, oh, that's scary. I'm not. No, when I'm not going to push it along. I'm going to raise awareness of it. But when the Book of Revelation stuff starts happening in my real life, I'm going to be excited because it means Jesus is around the corner. Okay, I'm just there. Please come quickly. All right. So cute. Yeah, he's sleeping up there. I like DuckDuckGo. Cool. Yeah, I use it on my phone because that's really my choice. Hello, Colin. How are you?
Kitty.
My Ubuntu 14.04 drive has Pango. Nice. All right, let's have a look at this report here. So, paper statements, an important consumer protection. So we're not going to look at all of this. I thought there were some interesting quotes. There's a lot of good things in here as far as some good advice. Why don't people like statements? Over 53% of consumers with less than a high school education do not have broadband internet connections. There's a good reason. And if I can't get my paper statements or my statements from anywhere, then it's kind of a bad thing for me to have them. Lower income households lack access nearly twice the rate of the general population. Incomes below 20,000 do not generally have broadband internet access at home compared to 1/3 of all households. Half of Hispanics and a little bit less than half of African Americans do not have access to broadband internet at home. 55% of Americans 65 years or older do not have access to broadband internet. And most troubling, the percentage of homes with broadband internet has actually declined in 2 years from 70% to 67%. Now, I'm wondering how many of that is new households being established without internet. Like I know in grad school I went a few years without any internet at home because it was food or internet, and frankly I was at the lab almost all day anyway, so for me home was internet free zone. But if I needed the internet, and I still did some online banking there, I just did it at work. It wasn't a real big deal. Of course, that was probably the stupidest thing in the world because, it's like we were using communal computers and probably had some viruses and not clearing cookies and all that stuff, of course. And that was back in early 2000s, really when, online banking was first existing. So you had that. Let's see, 5% decrease in households number, 20%, 6% decrease in Hispanics, and a startling 8% decrease for African Americans. Main reason cited is cost, and I understand. If I did not have the discount on my bill, my internet for the basic plan would be $75 a month. That's actually absorbently high. If it gets up to that point, I'm going to have a hard time paying that, No, I have friends that grew up in Manchester. Right now they live in the middle of Wyoming. But I don't know whereabouts in Manchester. But yeah, he was up there. He grew up there and migrated over here to do one of his college years, met a lady, got married, and became a citizen a good 10 years later, I think. Oh, Anna Rita, watch the Year Million documentary. Would you shoot me a link to that? I could not find anything on that. I looked that up. I couldn't find anything. Just shoot me a PM. I can't respond to your PMs, and so I didn't respond back, and I didn't log into the email. But shoot me a link to that, and I would be glad to check that out. The other thing, I'm not sure if they mentioned it here, if it was in my next article here, but one of the reasons people cited that I didn't even think of is What happens if you are managing your aging parents' bills and they have online bill pay? Like, you can't even find the stacks of papers over there. Do you think you're going to find the password lists? And do you think that you're going to convince that guy on the phone that you need to reset the passwords? That ain't happening. I never thought of that one, but I think it was this one here. This one here was a lot of great advice. I think this is a good wrap-up article here. Is if you are going to do e-statements, do it right. And they had a lot of good tips. Let's see, permanence on paper. Now, I'm trying to get away from having less paper. So what I'm looking at doing is more like a digital portfolio that I'm making sure is complete. And so I want to look at that. Let's see. So here's your best practices. Number one, open and save your statement each month. Now, like I said, what I do when I'm doing my budgets, and because my income fluctuates, I use Dave Ramsey's irregular income planning sheet is what I use for mine. So I know what all my household expenses are going to be pretty well. At the beginning of the month, I'll write the budget up and then I'll start working everything through. And then what I'll do is I know when everything's coming in and I'll make the check mark when I'm doing that. Well, when you switch to an e-statement, which I barely use any of them, I still insist they send me paper. And I send that to a post office box. So, it's not an issue of someone stealing it out of the mailbox outside of being a rogue USPS employee. But what you want to do is know what bills you're expecting and have a grid. And I'd even do it on either graph paper or a spreadsheet or something that you can tick off and check when you've done it, so that every month you have a checklist to make sure that you've grabbed it. So once a month, know approximately, and what I'll do is I'll actually write down the approximate date when that bill is going to be due. And so you take the sheet, you have the item listed, the date the bill is expected, a check mark when that's paid, and a check mark that it's that you have downloaded the original sheet. Again, this is if you're doing the e-statements. I still like the paper statements, and so that's what I use. But make sure that every month you're going on there and printing those off because you do not always have a guarantee of being able to go back and grab old ones. And for me, doing a digital copy is probably okay. Just make sure you have a good digital backup plan. Number two, check your credit card accounts thoroughly every month. And I would go all your bank accounts, every place where money is coming and going. You want to be able to have that constantly reconciled. Do you remember the concept of reconciliation? Your parents might have done it by phone if you're around my age. But your checkbook has all your entries, and what I do is I write in all the entries, and when I've verified it has gone through the account and the numbers line up, I put a check mark next to it, and that's my verification. Now and then, every once in a while, when the account says exactly what the checkbook says because everything's in, I actually draw a line at that point and make a check mark, and I call that a checkpoint. This is invariably, you might get off on your checkbook somewhere, and I like having those checkpoints so I can look for those quickly in the previous statements. So going back and keeping tabs on things like that. So look at all of your statements, your banking statements, your credit card statements, everywhere where money is going in and out. Make sure you audit those fully every month. And, stop using the credit card if you can. They'll get you into trouble eventually. Even the ones that give you cash back, they're going to give you 1% cash back on everything that you have. But that first month, that very first month, you don't pay the whole thing off, they've already made all that money back. It's way better to have it coming out of a debit account. Even if it's a separate debit account that you're using, quote, as a credit card. Way better system. Create a filing system for your financial records. I wish I would have grabbed my filing system so I could at least show you, but basically I went to the store and I bought like a $10 plastic binder with a lot of folder slots in there. I just have manila folders in every bill. Like, here's my copy of my lease. Here's my copy of my banking statement. Here's my business banking statement. Here's my cell phone bill. Here's my internet bill. And then I have you know, an extra one back there, like cat vet stuff and dental records, whatever else. So I have that in there so that I have one expandable, collapsible thing with all of those individual items in it and every single month. So that is my filing system. Of course, I do that on paper right now. And I'm working on thinking of a digital one later. Channel guy named Tyler, probably same here. That YouTube channel guy named Tyler. Okay. I'll go back to the comments in a minute here. Number 4, keep a record of your payments. Make a spreadsheet with all your accounts in one column and the months across the top. If you're on Linux, you can play around with GNU Cache. I still like for business stuff, I usually do QuickBooks, but I actually, for personal stuff, I do use a LibreOffice calc sheet is what I do. But it's a nice spreadsheet. Have your accounts in one column, your month across top, each month type in the amount that you paid, and the benefits are twofold. You can make sure you paid that bill and keep tracking. I actually do that on paper. I literally do it with paper. I have a piece of paper because I printed out Dave Ramsey's irregular income sheet. What I do in January is I print off 12 of them, one per month for the year. Let's see. Keep your contact information up to date. Again, on Linux, I've been using, is it K-Address Book, I think, is the name of it. If you're running like a more GNOME-based system, you could probably use the GNOME contacts. It's just my data management computer is Ubuntu Mate, and I could not get GNOME contacts working on there. But K-Address Book works great. So always keep your contacts up to date. Now, that's your personal contacts. I just talked about my phone contacts, but keep your contact information with your companies straight. This is why, for me, like living in a college town, I might move apartments from time to time as places become more available or costs change, whatever else. Sometimes new buildings go up and they offer a discount on rent for the first 100 people that sign up, and things like that. I love the post office box because I don't have to mess with changing my address all over the place. Update it once at the post office, and even then they're like, we don't care. Make sure your computer is secure. This is why on Linux I use a completely separate operating system running off of a USB drive that is exclusively used for banking. Nothing gets done on that computer except banking, period. And so that's kind of the stuff that does that kind of stuff there. All right, let's go over and jump over at comments here and see if there's any final discussion points. Let's see. It's on National Geographic National TV channel. All right, I'll look for it. Secure Team 10. Are you familiar with it? Wandering Soul. No, not familiar with Secure. Is it Secure Team 10? Let me look that up. Oh, it must be YouTube. Your number one source for breaking news and exposure to the alien phenomena. Oh boy. Nope, not familiar with that. But the amount of things that I see on UFO stuff, I think Roger back here is taking a look on my YouTube account when I'm not here, because I'm really seeing some weird alien type stuff coming up. So I also manage my parents' money, so I guess I'm an accountant without pay. Yeah, that's hard stuff right there. Accessing aging parents' paperless. Yeah, and I never even thought of that. I read it on one of those articles. I forget which article it was, but did that. For a while, I stopped watching such things. Yeah. YouTube channel guy named Tyler, probably same here. I have a binder with separators on it. Yep. And I look for the lower cost ways of doing things like that. And I'll tell you this is a criticism I have of the Dave Ramsey's. Now, if you take the FPU class, let me show you what you get in one of these kits here. Again, I'm not endorsed by Dave Ramsey, although I do teach his FPU class once a year. You do get the forms, a folder with some forms in it. And let's see, are there forms in it? Yep. There's a basic copy of your forms in there. I think might be some in there, or you can print them off online. You get this nice little fold out there, which allows you to your 7 baby steps, and then this is your debt tracker, so you can track how your debt's going. And then you have a workbook, which you fill out as you take the class. What you usually do is a group. You have the CDs. So this is all of the albums or episodes on CD, so you can listen to them again on CD. And the Complete Guide to Money book. I forget what's in this. I think it's like maybe it was a name tag and maybe a pencil or something. I don't know. There's something in that. I forget what it is. And then you have, this is why I opened this up, is you have the envelope system here. Of course, using envelopes is a really good way to go. So basically, you write the category of the envelope here, and then you just put your money in here. And then the idea is you can put your checkbook in over here, and you take this with you to the store. And so when you're at the store, you know you have X amount for food, you have X amount for clothes. You know, hey, you can go buy a cheeseburger at McDonald's because there's a few bucks in the eating out envelope. You know, need some gas in the car, so you got your envelope from there. So you have the envelope system. Now, here's my criticism is Dave Ramsey's program isn't even really, his isn't even really his own. He stole pretty much everything from Crown Financial Ministries. And for about 10, 15 years ago, they sent me an email as I used to be on their mailing list. They're like, tell us how we're doing with Crown Financial Ministries. I said, you know what? I like what you're teaching, but I have a problem with you selling stuff like this because you're a group saying, get out of debt, get out of debt, get out of debt. And you're selling some nifty envelope system that if you buy these, they're like 10, 15, maybe 20 bucks. For this, I have a stack of like number 10 envelopes, and I take those out and I actually put those into a little plastic binder that I bought at like some office supply store for $1. And so I have cheap envelopes that I put the category name on 7 years ago when I started doing this, and I put them into a cheap $1 binder. So you don't have to have something fancy like this. And that's a criticism is Dave Ramsey's group right now, it's just so much selling you the plan to do stuff that I liked it a whole lot better when it was a whole lot more low key. But regardless, these kits I think are like $100. And but if you are thinking of taking the course, check with your church first, because I know our church we can get the kits a little bit cheaper because we buy so many in advance. And so that if you are in debt, getting out of debt's good. I like the FPU class. I think it's a great class to take. Like a lot of things, I don't agree with 100%, but as far as every bit of the process, I agree with every bit of the process he says. You know, list your debt smallest. Oh, actually, his first step is going to be, make sure everything is current and save $1,000. Second step, list your debts smallest to largest. Pay off the lowest one. It doesn't matter what the interest rates are. Just pay off the lowest debt. Because you'll pay that off and you'll be able to create what he calls the debt snowball, where you keep on rolling in the previous payments into the next. Of course, you're on a budget and everything. And then step 3 is you save up 3 to 6 months of an emergency fund. If you have a super secure government job, 3 months is probably good. If you have flexible income like me, 6 months is probably what you want. And then 4, 5, and 6 is save for kids' college, pay off your house, and invest 15% in retirement. And then step 7 is once your house is paid for, your kids' college is paid for, and you're continuing to do that, then you build wealth, you give away money, and you live as a fairly stress-free person. And that's what his plan is in a nutshell. But going through the course gives you a whole lot more details about the hows, the whys, and why not do things out of order. And all of that process, I completely agree with all that stuff. Get rid of credit cards, stuff like that. So that's kind of my plug for that. Again, I don't get paid for any of that, but I highly support the course in that respect. Oh boy. Okay. What's your take on using the cable company's modem if you're not being charged for it? No. Absolutely not, especially the Comcast modems, because the Comcast modems here, what they're trying to do is they're trying to piggyback off of piggyback their own signal off of your own modem. So when their modems are actually pushing out two different signals, and that extra signal, actually, people have done research on this and found that those could actually cost a few extra dollars on electricity a month. And no, I don't want them. And on top of that, they have a lot of back end control that they can do. They could literally reset all of your network settings from their system if you're using their modem. But with my setup, I have a separate modem, and also they're doing a combined modem and router. Never do a combined modem and router. It is a lot less secure. You want a separate modem, you want a separate router. So that's what I do, is I have a separate modem, I have a separate router. With those two guys separated, if they could do anything goofy beyond the modem, they're not getting into the firewall of the router. That's why you never use theirs, because they have too much control over it. They could literally implant malware through your system if they've gone rogue or otherwise. So that's why I would never use their system, even if I'm not charged for it. Nope, I want my own. Can't I just print my own money with wild, reckless abandon like the Fed? I mean, you can. The Fed gets a little cranky about that and sends you to jail, though. It's kind of funny. Tyler does the narrating sounds like a good guy. Just too much for me now. Oh, there we go. But a 64 gig USB installed Linux on it so I could use it anywhere. Sweet. That's good. Yeah, if you are going to be doing that, make sure you buy a USB 3.0. USB 2 generally does not work well for booting off, for installing Linux, really. Could you make a video on how to use YouTube channel without Gmail AC? Without a Gmail account. Well, all you need to do, you don't really need to do a video about that. All you need to do is just go to Google. Assuming they haven't gotten rid of it, but I don't think they have. I thought I'd done one of these recently. Let's see. I think you have to click sign in and more options, create account. And then down here, I prefer to use my current email address. So you have to enter an email address here that's not a Gmail address. So what I do is I have a series of email addresses on just on a cPanel account on my own personal domain. So I have my own domain. I control all my own emails. I control all my own stuff. So I put in the absolute minimum amount of this stuff that I can, and then what I'll do is you put in your name here, you put in your full email address, and click on this guy here to prefer your current email. And actually, I think if you do that, let's do Joe Smith and this. Okay, so here you want to enter your email address here, and I don't know, maybe you have to do a mobile phone now. I don't know. There was a period of time where you did not have to do a mobile phone, but that's how you do it. So it's really nothing too special or fancy. Here in Canada, our mailboxes are open, so I put a lock that needs a key to open it. I am evil. Does that work pretty good? I run a lot of Linux distros on external drives, and actually they work great. In fact, if you go back and look at my OpenSUSE Enlightenment videos, those are actually on. I ran that entire distro for a month straight, simply on a external USB drive. It was 128 gig, I think. Roger that, Roger. Love the cat, yeah. Where's the cat? Oh. I think that background gives me static, so I don't want to talk with that background, but he's so cute. He's being cute over here. Let's see. You can use it on most computers. Yep, that's the fun part. Money management classes are a must-have in today's society, especially for young people. Yeah, the unfortunate thing, though, is that most money classes teach them how to go out and get good debt. Go and get a student loan debt. Oh, he's being cute. Kitty, kitty. Sorry, he was being cute. Most of your money management classes now teach you about all this good debt, bad debt, and then they push you towards the societal debts, like get your student loan debt because your student loan is the most valuable debt ever. I in fact questioned when I graduated. The college president, of course, gives our convocation or whatever it is at the end. Yeah, commencement. He gives the commencement, and he's like, this education is valuable. That if you're the average student, you will be paying $200 for the next 10 years for your student loans, and that is the valuable education. I literally thought to myself, if this education is so valuable, why is it going to take 10 years to pay off? Yeah. And then, of course, they teach you about good secure debt, like your good debts, like car loans. You're always going to have a car loan, so go get a car loan. Yeah, that's no. Buy a clunker. In fact, watch Dave Ramsey has a video. I think he used to. I don't know if he still has it. But his team put out a video years back called How to Drive a Free Car for Life. That is a fascinating video. You should watch that one. Let's see. I haven't been active. I know you're resetting a phone. We know. Okay. I was thinking about trying that. Okay. I live in a good side of town. Never lock my mailbox. Nice. That's what you get for downloading all that stuff. Yep. If you're tired of theft, move to Geneva, Ohio. Oh, really? Huh. I have friends over there in Geneva. That's fun. Actually, I have some friends right now that usually watch my live stream that are right there, Youngstown area. Right outside of Youngstown, which is the name of the city over there. I forget. Right over the state line there. Cool. Actually, Delaware, Ohio is not bad either. State police training ground. They're everywhere. Keeps the crime down. Hope there isn't going to be a test at the end of this. I only heard the abstract. Yes, full test, absolutely. Is a stress-free life when you own everything, have a house, car, education, furniture, appliances, etc. We have no kids, so we save more money for retirement and buy a tiny home to travel. Sweet. Built my own router using FP Sense. I gotta do that, and when my router dies, I probably will. Time Warner Cable Spectrum with my own homegrown router. Is that okay, or should I go ahead and get my own modem? I mean, if I don't know, honestly. I don't want to use anything they provide for me. I would rather have my own modem that I can control rather than one and I would never put in a modem router combination. They're becoming the trendy things. No, get separate. Separate them out. Dad has the rented router. I'm sorry. Oh, boy. See you later, JJ Game. Hey, good debt. I thought that didn't exist. Oh, wait, it doesn't. Yep. We have the same problems in England and Wales with student department. Not Scotland, though. It's free there. Yeah, California here, some of the schools are free in California. Some people are trying to push it out. It's like, California's doing it. They have free schools. Yeah, and their entire state is in, financial ruin. I would not... It's like, somebody said to me once, marijuana should be legal, like it's legal in Oakland. It's like, ever been in Oakland? No. I have. Your life expectancy of crossing the fence in Oakland is extremely low. They have bigger problems. It's the same thing with Albuquerque. Albuquerque's crime is so bad, if they catch you with pot, they just make you dump it out, and then you walk away. They don't have time to deal with it. I mean, it's the same thing, It's just yeah, don't pull up one place as your Oakland legalizes. Yeah, Oakland also has a murder every few minutes. Okay, they have bigger fish to fry. Oh boy. That's still a Google account. In 2013, most of the features you can make YouTube channel without Gmail. No. That's it. Yeah, you cannot have a YouTube account without a Google account. But you can have a Google account without a Gmail account. Yeah, you can't do YouTube without Gmail or without Google anymore. You can do it without Gmail. You can't do it without a YouTube account or without a Google account because that's what they are. Better not be a long test. It will be 1,000 questions, and it will be essay. And it will be due in 10 minutes. If you haven't started it yet, I mean, I posted the link above. I mean, look for that link. They are separate, and modem comes from Time Warner, router's a bit of my own. Yeah, if they're separate, I think you're probably fine. As long as they're separate. Yeah, I need a new router, just because I think I'm pushing my router to the outer limits of what it can possibly do. I mean, I have like a low grade Linksys router, and I think I'm almost always pushing, I don't know, 15 or 20 devices on it. Kind of crazy. Okay, it looks like we've gotten to the bottom of the comment stream. I've gotten to the bottom of the articles, and I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you the cat one more time, and then I'm going to feed the kitty, and then we're going to wrap this bad boy up. ISP provider provides me their own modem router because I do not know how to do it. I guess do it yourself with my own router. They would not do it for me, so I'm not secure only with software firewall. Yeah, I mean, software firewall's fine. It's just as long as it's a separate modem and router, that's probably good. Yep, sorry, Ryan. You were messing with your phone all class, and it's going to be the consequences. I'm sorry. All right, we're going to go ahead and feed the kitty some kitty treats, and then we will wrap it up. So thanks for hanging out, everybody. Kitty. No, that's all you get. Where are you?
Bye, everybody. I hope that you enjoy switching to Linux.